Hello everybody, thank you for coming. My name is Olivia. So how many of you have either heard women say, or as women said, I don't want to lift weights because I don't want to look like a man. I don't want to get really bulky and big. Right?
I've heard that one.
It's pretty common. And how many of you have actually seen a woman walking down the street that looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger? Have you now? Well, I am actually surprised by that because building muscles that big does not happen by accident. It's not something that most women are just going to walk into the gym and accidentally sprout muscles. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the history of female bodybuilding, what modern divisions of female bodybuilding are like today, and the importance of weight training in a female training program. As a fitness competitor myself, I can personally attest to why weight training is important to me and some of the ways that it has improved my own life and also could improve your life as well. So the history of female bodybuilding, bodybuilding in general, the International Federation of Bodybuilding, the IFBB, was made in 1946 in Montreal. The first 40 years of bodybuilding was entirely dominated by men. And then in 1985, females were introduced into this sport in Venice, California. Surprise, surprise, Gold's Gym. Originally, this only included what we typically think of as bodybuilding, just creating as big mass and size as possible. However, in 1998, they decided that in order to cater to a larger percentage of the female population, they kind of rebranded the sport and started calling it fitness competition instead of female bodybuilding. And then they added 3 new divisions of the sport as well, which I'll go into in just a minute. And then when they did this rebrand, the New York Times actually reported that year that within just that year, there was a 300% increase in female bodybuilders because it was more attractive to women to not be considered bodybuilders but to be considered fitness competitors. So according to the February 1999 issue of Joe Weider's Journal on Health and Fitness, what a female fitness competitor can expect to go through in training is training either from about 12 weeks to 1 year for one competition, 6 to 7 perfectly portioned meals every single day, spaced out every 2 hours and 35 minutes, drinking at least 1.5 gallons of water every day, and committing about 2 hours a day to the gym. Now, you have to remember this is on top of all the time that's committed to posing practice, meal prep, and traveling. And on top of this, they probably have a job as well. So there's a lot of time and commitment that goes into female bodybuilding. So the new divisions that were created to kind of span a larger proportion of the female population were bikini, figure, and physique, and that's in addition to regular bodybuilding. So the International Federation of Bodybuilding splits the criteria up between what they do, what they wear, and what they look like. So all these 4 different divisions lie along the spectrum. Bikini is going to be the smallest size, and the focus for that is more on poise, shape, and symmetry. So I'm an example of a bikini competitor. I would not be in the Miss Olympia pageant. But and then figure and physique is going to be a little bit higher along the spectrum of muscle mass. It's going to be more focused on muscle tone. And then finally, at the top of the spectrum is female bodybuilding, and that's going to be the biggest size and most focus on muscularity. So in general, though, even if you're not interested in being a fitness competitor, a lot of women struggle with body image and think that spending hours upon hours on a treadmill is actually going to help them lose weight. I'll just burn as many calories as possible and then I will have a better body image. However, that actually just wastes time and ruins your metabolism. So according to the National Center for Health and Statistics, only 20% of women weight train on a weekly basis. However, the 2008 Journal of Strength and Conditioning found that lifting weights twice a week can reduce body fat percentage by up to 3% in 10 weeks. So all those girls that are afraid of building mass by lifting weights, this actually reduces size because you're losing body fat percentage, which a lot of people don't realize. And in addition to that, women have 10 to 30 times less testosterone than men, which is the muscle growth hormone. So we will not build muscle to that degree without using things like steroids or testosterone enhancement, which is not safe and also not recommended. So again, it's not something that will happen by accident. In addition, Shelley McGrath from the University of Alabama reported in June 2009 issue of Sociology of Sport Journal that building muscle may increase women's self-esteem and confidence. And she also found that after starting a weight training program, women reported feeling more powerful and healthier. So just to recap on some of the things we went over, bodybuilding, while considered a male-dominated sport, it has grown to encompass a large proportion of the female population, and the new divisions that were introduced into female bodybuilding have accepted a wider variety of body types into the sport as well. And as I've mentioned, fitness competitor or not, weight training is important in preserving female metabolism and body image. So in conclusion, it takes strength, commitment, and dedication to commit oneself to the physical and nutritional needs it takes to build muscle as a female. So it's not something that happens by accident. Some people argue that as a society, we are too focused on appearance in general. However, I argue that weight training and bodybuilding for women is actually a strong, healthy, and empowering way to take on our own body image and feel like we are in control of our bodies. So thank you.